As a hairstylist who owns multiple multi-million-dollar companies, in this podcast, I'm talking to hairstylists and salon owners who are ready to put in the work to build wealth. We are literally teaching stylists how to get results. We're getting them to get results on how to make more money behind the chair and to create their own empires. It's what you know that you don't know that you need to know in order to get to where you want to go. Because I understand now that in order for me to get to my targets and my big goals and be able to impact 500,000 stylists all over the world and 400 plus salon owners and helping them run an efficient business that they don't feel like they're babysitting anymore, that they feel like they know how to scale it because they have the right information. We get to touch this magic every day of giving people the confidence of hair, but truly, it's how do we be more impactful and understanding. My name is Terra Harvell, and this is the Terra Harvell Show. All right, you guys, welcome back to the Terra Harvell Show. Today, I am so excited for our guest. You guys are going to hear all of the most amazing things and all the value that she's offered to this industry. You guys know how I roll. I am all about the hair part of it. Don't get me wrong, but the value and the business aspect of the hair industry is what we're missing so much of, and you guys know how I feel about that. So today, I'm so excited to welcome Ronit to my podcast and Nicole. Nicole is on her team. I'm going to let them explain all of those things, and let's just dive right into it. So I would love to start with you guys. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. Let's just dive right into it. You tell me the story. How did you guys get to where you're at? Tell me your backstory. That's what everybody wants to hear.
Yeah, well, just to make the story as short as possible,
You might want the full story, Ronit.
I started in this country building a small little catering company. So you can tell my accent. Everybody always asks me, where are you from? And I always say, I'm from Mars. And so if you listen to this accent, know that it's a Mars accent. But when I got here, I was 22 years old, 3 years later, married with two children. So 1 year apart in between those two. And in the beginning, I went to interior design school and I knew that I want to do something with design, even though my background was in the beauty industry since I was 17 years old. But when you have children, now you have to start thinking, okay, what's next? And so at the time, I created interior design for weddings. So I worked with weddings and just did the design for it. And I really loved it. That's how I got into interior design school. And then I got pregnant a year later, and that was the end of that. And so 2 years after having the two children, I went back into the beauty industry really quick, owned a salon. But before that, even owned a little catering company. Woo!
Nice.
I had no business doing cakes, not at all. But I did create two cakes. One of them was called Death by Chocolate, and one of them called Mozart. And that was the beginning of my catering company. I did sell it. And after I patented Death by Chocolate, sold that recipe. And then, quick, this is going fast forward. When I moved to Boston with my husband and my two children, I really knew that now I wanted to do something with my career, with the beauty industry. So that's how I went back into the beauty industry. And 2 years or 3 years working in Boston, I moved to the South Shore, the children are getting older. And I always had a dream that I'm going to open a place where it just looks like a coffee shop in Paris. And so I did. And then a few years later, that place was small. I opened another one. But no matter what I did, Tara, as you probably know, when you build companies, you become a slave to your company. You really do. In the beginning, you just want to build and you have a vision and you have a dream and and what motivates you is the do. It's like, oh, I want to create. There's a new baby in the house, and I just want to create a new baby in the house. And so that's what we did. But at the end of 5 years, I still had, even though I worked from 9 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, didn't make any money that showed all my effort. And so I really needed to find out whether is this sustainable.
Yeah.
because having two children and being a wife, and I wanted to be a good mom and a good wife and a good husband and a good boss and a good this and a good that, but I was not good for me. I
Yeah.
wasn't. I literally burned out, and but more than anything, the people who really suffered were my children.
Yep.
And in my book, I write about the things that changed it because I know you sent me a question, and one of the question was, what success looked like this and what sacrifice you had to do. Well, it wasn't working because when I entered the salon one day, I was supposed to go meet Bill, my husband, and Gabby, who was auditioning to a cello audition down in Boston, New England Conservatory. You don't
Mhm.
get moments like that ever.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
And I completely forgot about it. Why? Because I was only going to do one client. You know that story. And then before you know it, the phone rings, your manager needs you, that needs you, and then boom, you forgot. And it's like he calls me and I pick up the phone and I said, "Hey babe, what's up?" And he says, "Ronit, if when you get in, park on the right, don't park on the left. The left is completely full." And I said, "What?" Oh crap. I completely forgot. I screwed up. I never made it.
Wow.
And that was the end of it. I mean, Gabby was really young.
Yeah,
I don't think she would remember, but there were more times like that over the years.
of course.
And that killed me. And I said something has to change. And so I stepped away. And this is my fifth company at this point. And
Mhm.
I stepped away and I said to myself, where am I going? What am I doing? Because I don't want to do this.
Right.
And I need to do something that allows me to live the life that I want. And the life that I want for very simple. I just want to travel. I want to have the children. I want to be there for them. I want to have dogs. I want to have, I want to travel. And I want my team to be having the same thing. And we all
Right.
make good money. And
Mhm.
so and by this time, Tara, I hired every coach, every mentor, every professional, read every book, did all the things that we're supposed to do, and nothing was working. So I knew I got to do something different. So when I found out what I needed to do, I implemented it within that year. We reached out seven figures, like
Wow.
you, in 1,300 square foot, second
Mhm.
location, and I removed myself from being the worst employee of the company. I fired my ass off.
I love that. I love that. Which is a lesson that so many salon owners need to understand and they need to implement. And I love your story is great because I think so many of us, especially mothers, and I'm always a big one on it doesn't matter if you have children or not. It's business is hard either way. But I think that mothers, a lot of our industry are mothers because we're women. That's just natural, right? And it's like, at what point do I have to stop missing, my kids' stuff? At what point do I get to be present? And if you don't build your business the way that it should be, then the answer is maybe never. It depends on if you're trying to make a buck or not. So tell me what that transition looked like for you. Was it successful right off the bat? Was it like, what did you learn from that transition?
Well, to get to that point, it was the first year was exciting. The second year was exciting. The third year is like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
The fourth year was this cannot continue, and
Mhm.
um, and we were successful, in many ways. We built a business that the retention was always 85% clients, and we had great staff.
Mhm.
Um, but like everybody else, there were a lot of things that were not working. So that was very painful.
Yeah.
The whole journey. It's
Yeah.
not an easy journey.
Mhm.
Um, you work hard, you chew on broken glass for a long time.
Yes, you do.
know?
Yeah, and I think that it's difficult when you're working so hard and you're putting in all this effort and you see all this money coming in, and then you look at your bank account and you're like, oh, am I going to make payroll? How is that even possible? How is it even possible that I've gone such a long time without paying myself? Why am I the top producer in my company? Why am I the only one that wants to work this hard? And so I think there's a lot of different things that you have to look at with your business, even though you know that you're busy, you know that your team's busy, that doesn't equal success.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's always, and it usually starts at the top with the
Yeah.
systems that you have in place and whether or not you're taking a hard look at your numbers. And so, Ronit, I feel like a huge thing that changed the trajectory of your business at Maxime was profit first.
Yeah.
And then that's how I came into the picture with Ronit, was to launch the book Profit First for salons, which has had a huge impact, Tara. I mean, they told us the first year, they're like, if you sell 50 copies of this book, then amazing, great job. We sold 5,000 and that we're continuing to grow. And then Ronit got Marketer of the Year from the Profit First Professionals because of it, because we just absolutely crushed it. But the industry needed it because we needed a safe
Mhm.
space to take a look at your numbers and not be afraid of them. And I'll tell you what, people are willing to, even if they feel like they're so bad at math, they're willing to talk about money. Everybody wants to make money. What's the point? Like, honestly, if you don't make money, you don't get your time back, you don't get the freedom. And although it's the root of all evil, it touches everything in your life,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah. I love it. I think
Tara,
that,
yeah,
um,
you cracked the code by yourself. I mean, you were a guest on my podcast the other day, Nicole and I.
yeah.
We were super excited, and by the way, Nicole has been our brand manager now. This is her fourth year, and we met through that story because she experiences the same story going through and related to it with being a female, that is trying to crack the code in the same way, went through this with, through her upbringing. And I think the important part of what made us transitioning better, and it might sound terrible, but I mean it.
it's okay.
Okay. You just gotta fall and get up and fall and get up and fall and get up and fall and get up until you make it better and better and better and
Yes,
never quit. You just gotta just get the shit done.
absolutely. I love that.
100%. And you asked us, one of the questions you asked us is, what do you think holds salon owners back from scaling? And I think it's constantly focusing on the wrong things until you burn out. And everybody's using the word burnout right now. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with the way that people are using it. I think that it's genuinely you are depleting your energy,
Yes.
especially your mental energy, because you know the things that need to be done but you
Right.
don't know how to approach it. You're not prepared to do it. So you focus on the little fires in your company and the minutia, and then all this stuff is looming in your headspace and you're exhausted. So then when you're trying to be a mom, you're trying to be a wife or a husband, whatever it is, you got no energy because your mind is scattered and focusing on all the shiny things when you know there's so many things happening in your business that need your attention. That's what it really is. It's not even really burnout. It's just your headspace is so loud.
100%. That is so, so true. And I hope that everyone heard you guys loud and clear on that because it's absolutely, I see it all the time. You nailed it. It's like it's because we naturally as humans, we want to gravitate to what we already know, where we're safe or where we think we're safe and what makes us feel good. But these, we talk about inside of our programs a lot about the constraints of your business. And that's really where you should run towards that in order to cure that burnout. Because if you can run towards the constraints, you can move the needle a lot faster. And so you'll feel like you are, it's not just feel, you can look at the data and see that you're actually moving the needle. So I would love to hear from you guys as far as, how do we help salon owners? And I know you guys do this. And at the end of this, I want you to tell everybody what you guys do. So there's two parts of this question. I want you to tell people about the mindset that stylists and salon owners need to adapt in order to be able to scale and do what we just talked about, running towards the constraint. And then the other thing is, I don't think that I was able to tell you guys this, but your book, Rona, is how I even ever heard about you guys. And that was because someone sent it to me in the mail with a handwritten letter of like, hey, it was a person that owns a financial firm, and like, you should check this book out, contact me. And so it was very, very cool. And I did, I read it, and it was, and how I got my salon off the ground several years ago was profit first. And that is what we implemented. And so I want to talk more about that in the back end, but let's talk about the mindset first, because I think that's step one, right? It's like, got to get in the right mindset to be able to run towards those constraints.
So the mindset, well, it's not just in our business, it's in every entrepreneurial business. When we come into building a business, what they teach us is how to get very busy and to make money.
Yeah.
So what do? We get very busy and we make money. We know how to make money. We're very good at that. And then what happens? You hire some more people, and now what we were taught is how to get busier and make more money. So we now have two full-time jobs. Where is the bottleneck? Where's the constraint? And everybody think it's new client acquisition. Let's get some more clients. Everybody think I'm just not making enough money and I don't know why.
Right.
And everybody thinks I just want to do this and this and this, but I can never get to do that. The top three, before we even go to our regular business constraints, the top three bottlenecks of a company, and being the top is you. Because as an owner, we don't allow enough time to think and process what needs to happen in order to grow your company. We don't allow enough time to really train, to really invest in your people. And your people, the way we look at our team, and I see it, even coaches in the industry or outside of the industry look at teams as employees.
Yeah.
And that's mistake number two. We can't look at them as employees. We have to look at them as investors.
Absolutely.
And that's where the change of mindset needs to happen right there. And I don't know, my grandmother always told me, Ronit, keep to yourself what you're making. Don't share with your staff what you're making, what your money, how much money you take home. And she was right about many things. She was the first one who told me I'd rather eat pasta every day than cleaning my house. I'd rather have somebody else clean my house. And so if you take those two sentences, I think it's very important to share with your team what is the investment that it takes to run a company, how much they can make if they become investors in that company. And I'm not talking about bonus sharing. I think that's all crack of shit. I think what I'm looking at is really investment in your company. And so if you look at your team as investors, then what do they want to get in return? Maybe one wants to get a house. Maybe one wants to get a comfort. When he wants to get some, everybody wants something. And so you have to align that with the vision of the company in profitability. And is it aligned with where you're taking the company? So those are the three things. Third things, and I know, Nicole, you're probably thinking about it twice now, or 4 times or 5 times, is when you start something, you have to have 100% vision of what you want from this company to do for you. It's otherwise you will do the same thing over and over again. So what do I mean by that? You need to know professionally, what do you want to be when you grow up? 2, how much money do you want to take home every month? And 3, what is the promise that your company is going to deliver? So Terra, you're the best, you have the best system of teaching the world of beautician how to apply extensions in the best way. That is one of your scalable models. And so you have now a very clear vision of what your salon is going to provide. What are you going to be teaching? How much money you're going to have to make in order to be profitable for the amount of money that you want to take home and to provide for your staff members. If you have that clarity, everything else is simple.
Yep, absolutely. Because we always say you just back into the target, what is the thing and just back into it. And it really does become simple. I think a lot of people listening to this, because if my audience listens to this, which they will, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh. So thanks for being the cool, Aunt Ronit that's coming in and gonna verify what I tell them every day, because they're gonna be like, oh, what you're saying is true. And so, but then, we have people that aren't maybe directly in my audience that I know will listen to this. And it's just, people just overcomplicate the targets. What's the target? And then just design your business to hit the target. And if you can't do those things, then it's going to be very hard for people's, personal, professional, and financial goals to happen inside of your business if you don't design it for that to happen. So exactly.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many owners we've worked with that feel like they have that all figured out, that they have their company vision down. They're like, I've got this. And then we'll take a look at their team and we'll be like, are they
They have
acting
no
with
idea.
vision? Or would you hire them again?
Right.
Are they aligning with where your company is going, or were they just good enough for now? Did you
Yeah.
hire them out of a scarcity mindset because you're afraid not to have people? Or are
Mhm.
you following the whole purpose of your company?
Yeah.
The reason that you opened it. A lot of people open a salon, spa, med spa because they want to do it better than how they've experienced. They want to build a community just like how Ronit wanted to build a community, and they want to do more. They want to do more. They want to give back. They feel like they've completely excelled in their craft. They've learned everything they want to do. They want to have that as a passion, less as their job, their career. And so if they approach it with this scarcity mindset and they're not, like you said, hitting one target at a time and their team's not all on board of what that vision and that purpose is, then it's just like trying to hit bullseye on a moving target. You're never going to get there in the dark. You're in the dark.
Absolutely. The dark.
You
Yeah. Just trying your best. Hopefully maybe one day it'll all work out, right? It's like living on a
Oh,
prayer.
hopefully.
The truth is that we are not the master of the game, but to master the game, you got to play the game,
Mhm.
and you need to commit. And when I mean commit, I don't mean that in your mind you say you're committed.
Yeah.
In your mind, nothing else matters. You're
Mhm.
committed. You got to be focused and stay focused. And I think if you ask me, what would I tell myself back then? I would say you have to understand your numbers. You have to.
Yeah.
And you have to know exactly how much money at the end of a year you want to take home. You have to.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, and then you need to build a team
Mhm.
that kind of wants the same thing.
Absolutely.
They want to make money. They want to have a few weeks off a year. So if you can put a formula behind it, and that's why I love the profit first cash flow system that obviously we wrote the book for, um, is that it allows you to take the income
Yeah.
and put it in the right place.
And that's why I think people confuse that timeline, like to build a multi-million-dollar salon. My salon is 7 years old, but we really became, a multi-million-dollar salon just 3 years ago, and we went from, almost 0% profitability. It wasn't zero, but might as well been, to, a lot of profitability, 25% profitability, 1.6 million, and that happened in a very short time only because it was very, very simple. I went to my people and I said, hey, what do you want? What if you could close your eyes and imagine what your life looks like in 5 years from now? What do you want? And it's so interesting is every single one of them, and I didn't have them together doing this. That was a one-on-one conversation. Every single one of them said, I would love to create an income that I don't have to stand behind the chair for. I'm not saying I don't want to be a stylist, but I would love to create an income that doesn't depend on me to be behind the chair working with my hands. And truly, that's why we built the Strata Salon systems, because it's exactly what it does. I literally reconstructed my entire business to help my employees' PPF goals, personal, professional, and financial goals come to life. And that's how we built and scaled our business. It was very, very simple. And, that's it.
That's amazing, Tara. So, it's I'd love to kind of learn from you. So the stylist did not want to work the whole entire life behind a chair.
Right.
Did they want to become an entrepreneur? Did they want to become a CEO, or did they just wanted to produce enough money that they don't have to work more than 4 days a week?
I think it's neither of that, actually. I think it was more, how do I become such a value that I can gain a position that doesn't depend on me standing behind the chair? And in our industry, it's pretty simple. It's like duplication.
No,
You,
yes.
you got to train 50 of you. That's how you can do that, And so that's what we're doing, is they're duplicating over and over. And so I know that you guys, we've talked about this, and you guys are helping salon owners as well, and helping them create this business. But I want to know, I think one of the biggest gaps inside of our industry is that leadership aspect. And so in order for you to create and have a salon that is running that way, like what leadership does it take to build a team that is ready for that?
Yeah.
It's
So
tough.
great question. Nicole, you want to take that one?
Oh no, girl, you got this. I want to hear your answer. I want to know what you're gonna say too.
When you ask me that question, I go to Simon Sinek for a minute. And he was the first one who started the whole conversation of leadership with the presentation, the why.
Yeah.
But I really think it's more complicated than that. Um, I'll be the first one to admit I'm not the best in leadership. I learn every day and I hope I become better every day. I think you need to be very real and very transparent in a kind way, and
Mhm.
always explain why you're coming from here.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's something you learn. You just got to be kind, but you have to be very direct, extremely direct. Like if I can say, so honest, direct, even direct, like saying, "Can I be honest with you? I'm having a really hard time. I just don't know what to do. I need help."
Mhm.
um, Back and forth, back and forth. I think that it's okay to ask for those words, but it's also you have to make a decision quick. Got to make good, quick decisions. Good or bad doesn't matter. You'll learn. You'll screw up. You'll learn again. Fall up, fall up, fall up.
Mhm.
But more than anything, I'm not the best in teaching leadership.
Yeah.
Um, I'm good. I think I'm a good leader.
I know that you're a good leader because you don't think that you're a good leader. I think that that is where most great leaders come from, is they're like, I can tell you all day long what I've done wrong, and I can tell you how to help you because I've been through and I've built the stat, but I'm not going to show up and say I know everything about leadership, because those who exists like that. I mean, even, I learned from John Maxwell, one of the greatest leadership authors in the world, right? But like he still shows up and he says, I'm not the greatest leader in the world. I don't claim so.
I do think, Tara, that the thing is you can't be the best at everything. You can't. You need to hire people to your team, and you need to surround yourself with people that are better than you at things that if you're being very, very honest and transparent with yourself, that aren't your superpower. Or, Ronit, you say zone of genius. So at Salon Cadence, for example, can Ronit teach leadership, and would it be impactful? Yeah, 100%. Or we could have somebody that's an expert educator come in from leadership, that's educated in leadership, and teach our clients what to do and how to do it. And that's how Salon Cadence is. We are a network full. It's kind of like having your own board of advisors, right? So Ronit and I, can we teach about leadership? 100%. We could sit here and talk about leadership all day. But instead, what we do is we make sure we have the top minds in and out of the industry coming in and helping our clients develop their leadership skills. And what came to my mind when you asked that question, what kind of leadership does it take to grow a business that doesn't rely on you? I immediately was thinking of, well, what position do you need to replace you with? And what should be your areas of focus? Ronit typically will say, you need to invest in an educator in your salon or spa, right, Ronit? And then you got to be careful not to hire just like Terra 2.0 or Ronit 2.0, because not everybody has, even though they have a lot of leadership skills, and you might vibe with them. If they're exactly like you, are they really going to help scale your company?
Right.
Or do you need somebody? Do you need to take a good hard look at yourself and say, what is it that when I work with our owners, I say, what is it that just kills your energy that you have to do every day, but you wait until the last possible second to do it, or you avoid it completely, and then it's waking you up in the middle of the night because you know it needs to get done? Replace that.
Absolutely.
Replace that part of take that hat off and hire
Mhm.
somebody that's better than you at that. Just like how we're saying Salon Cadence, we could teach about leadership, it would be impactful, but why not take that hat off and put that hat on somebody that's their zone of genius, that's their passion.
One,
Absolutely.
yeah. And unfortunately or fortunately, and I've done that mistake so many times when I promoted somebody within my team, whether they were a stylist or a colorist or to become a manager, but guess what? They never asked for it.
Right.
They were never trained for it. And suddenly my expectation that they're going to become the best freaking manager there is, well, guess what? I just created a mini me, a chicken running with no head. And so what,
True.
right? It's no lying. Like sometimes I used to look in the back, when I was doing foils, and I looked in the back and I'm thinking, wow, my team is so amazing. They're doing everything and it looks so good and I'm so proud. But then I look at them and I say, shit, what did I create it? I created mini-me's.
Yeah.
And that's not good. Okay. That's a straight shot to hell. So
Yeah.
so who wants to work for crazy people like me? Okay. Who wants to?
I
So
don't believe that's true though.
like somebody who's always I mean, listen, between you and me, we're running Salon Cadence.
Yes.
Trust me, Nicole and I go through this now on our seventh business, right? We go through this, okay, who's our next role? And so I think the most important thing to think, maybe that will also help whoever is listening.
Yeah.
First of all, if you're a woman and you're a mom and you have children, you better listen to this right now. Here's what you got to do. You got to think about what will it cost your company to hire a true operation manager? What will it cost your company to hire a true marketing company that can help you and you're not the marketer? What will it cost that? Would it be $100,000 a year extra?
Mhm.
Then reverse engineer it, Tara, like you said, to where you are right now. And now you need to think as if you were 6 months from now, if you're running a $2 million company and not $1 million company. And those are the two people who are going to take you there.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
that's how you got to think. You gotta, and I know everybody's saying that, Tara. I'm so sick of listening to it.
Yeah.
I think I invented it. I swear to God, in our industry. I started with the CEO mindset. Then I went it into marketing. What did we say? Buy your time back. And now everybody's using it, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm kidding. I'm probably not the one who invented it in our industry.
We are. Own it, girl. You got it.
But the serious is everybody is saying that, but the true thing is it come down to the money.
Yeah.
End of the day, it come down to the money.
Mhm.
If you're so busy but you're not making money, then look at your pricing.
Yeah.
If you're not busy, okay, and you need to make more money, then look at the experience. Is it luxury? Is it
Mhm.
abundance? If it's not, we got to do something about it. And then
Totally.
you have to hire Terra, who can
Yeah.
tell you exactly how to duplicate yourself. If you haven't done that yet, you better do it now. Why wasting time?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. You are just a absolute wealth of knowledge. I could listen to you all day long. I want you to tell them because I love how what you guys do is you create, you talk about a roadmap to, help salon owners create wealth and success. I want you to kind of walk through what Salon Cadence is and what you guys do because I just am such big fans of what the work that you guys do, and I want everybody to hear it.
Well, Nicole, I think I spoke a lot. You should just take this one too.
Okay, well, Tara, I can give you an exact quote from one of our own clients. And it is, when you're working with Salon Cadence, it's like you're getting a business degree in your own business.
Mhm.
And what we do is we have a method that takes an entire audit of all the bleeds, all the gaps that are happening within your company, all the systems, the processes, your team, and we have you work on these things, button these things up, following our method. And then we move you into a position when your company is ready to start scaling that we start to work with your managers. We start to work with your leadership team. So now you're actually following a process that says, okay, I now have a scalable company. And you got to think about what that means. Everybody says scalable, but what are we talking about? If you went on a vacation for 2 weeks, would your business be on fire? Would you be on your phone the entire time making things happen and things work? Or do you
Right.
have the systems and processes in place and the right team that's leading the company, like we said, based on your vision?
Yeah.
Have that, then you can pass that baton over to somebody and say, now you're running the company. I'm operating as the CEO.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at what my exit's going to be. Am I going to be creating a legacy for my family? Maybe I want to pass this on to my
Mhm.
son, my daughter. Am I going to be selling this company? And the thing is, nobody wants to buy you. Like Ronit said, who wants to work with a crazy person? You
Yeah,
know?
right.
They're going to buy the systems that you have in place that are in the numbers,
Yeah.
right? That you have to take a look at and you have to understand, and they have to be working for you, not against you, and not rely on you. So we're helping beauty business owners create a company that doesn't rely on them. And then not only that, we're empowering and educating their team to lead based on their vision. So that's the mission of Salon Cadence. We work with a lot of women. That's why I got involved in the company, is because I am passionate about providing education for women. My mom had to work her ass off to provide for all of us kids, and she missed out on a lot of things, just like how Ronit.
Seven. Seven children. Wow.
Well, four were hers. We're like the Brady Bunch, right? Um, but yeah, she worked her ass off and she had to compromise, her own desires, her own dreams, her own wishes for herself, her life, and fully invest in being a mom and working her ass off. And I want to be able to be a part of a story that says women can buy their time back and they can do this. They can choose this for themselves. That's the hardest part is when we're talking to business owners, especially women, choosing this for themselves, investing in themselves, because they're
Mhm.
so used to seeing the value of being a woman is how you impact everyone around you. Are you a good mom? Are you a good wife? Are you a good friend? Are you a good daughter? And it's not, are you good to yourself? Because if you're not good to yourself, then you can't be good to everyone else around you. And so it starts with that. We start with the mindset. We talked a lot about mindset today.
Mhm.
Because you got to be in that right mindset in order to grow. And then we literally we hand them that blueprint that says this is what you need to focus on right now to get the most return to start growing your company. We do that audit of the company together through the method, and then we start working with their team to take over. So.
It's incredible. And I love, love, love that you mentioned the exit. Oh my goodness. There's so much education out there, right? There's so many people trying to teach people how to run their business but like no one's teaching anyone how to build a business to exit it because here's the deal. Salons aren't very valuable if the minute that the owner walks out the door, the team does too, and so do the clients. Like, what are they buying? Your shampoo bowls, you know? And I think that a lot of that is stylists and salon owners need to understand that. They have to be backing in once again to their target of like, hey, I want to get 50 years old or whatever the age is, whatever the target is, and I want to be able to exit my business and sell for a profit and be able to, take care of my children and be present. And, that's truly what we have to be able to do. And it's just not enough people that are talking about that in this industry. So I really appreciate and love that you guys are talking about that.
And the thing is, not everybody wants the same exit. It's not a one size fits all approach. And that's what I feel, and Ronit, we both feel that what sets Salon Cadence apart from other education and, support that's available in the industry is it's a do it with you approach. So your roadmap, your blueprint is not the same as every other person's. We're gonna help you target what's gonna, 10x your effort.
Mhm.
So that's what we're out here trying to do.
I absolutely love that. You guys I could talk to you all day long. We'll definitely have to do this again, and hopefully maybe people can see us working together on some capacity in the future. I'd love if you would tell everybody where to find you guys. How can they get in touch? First of all, how can they get the Profit First book? I want people to get their hands on that. Every salon owner should be reading that book.
You know what, Tara? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna say, what if and I'm just gonna put this out there. What if we could provide all of Tara's listeners with a free digital copy of Profit First for Salons?
That'd be incredible.
Would you
Done.
be? I
Yeah.
think I think we can absolutely make that happen.
And we're gonna adapt, and we adapt in Terra. We're gonna do something pretty serious.
Yes. So I would we'll follow up with you on a way that we are able to get that into the hands of your listeners. But you can find it on Amazon. It's an Amazon best-selling book. You can find it also on, the Kindle app. You can find it on Audible. So even if you go to profitfirstsalons.com, then we have everything that you could need possibly there. And then finding us on social, look us up by Salon Cadence or Ronit Enos, and you'll get right there. And we've had Tara as a guest on our podcast, and we'll be launching that soon. So you can also find us on It's a Profitable Life.
Yeah, and we'll provide you with links for to get that copy. And we do have an event coming up, even though it's a very intimate event. We can send you the link for that if
I would love that.
I
We'll
don't
put
know
it in the notes.
when it's going to air, but definitely.
Yeah, we will put those in the notes with the podcast. That way people can find all the things. And I just, that's one thing I love about this industry. There's so much value in every room. Not every room, that's not even true, but there's so much value if you are careful about what rooms you go into, and especially learn from people like you guys who've walked the walk. You've built the salon, you've had the exits, you've built the business, the sustainable business, you've become the CEO, and I want every hairstylist and salon owner to be able to learn from people like you guys. So I love it. Well, thank you guys for listening, and hopefully you guys will tune in. I know that you will, and reach out to these guys and get the help you need with your salon. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
All right.